Hello. Is anybody out there? We have Kylie with us today, so I know I'm going to be doing something different today, and I hope that you all get to show up and see what it's about.
Hello, everyone.
So if you're watching this on replay, I'll get this little bit out of the way, push all the buttons, subscribe, do the things if you're new. That helps my channel get put out there. And if you could leave a comment, that would be amazing, because that also really helps. And as people say, those are free things you can do to help. And I love that. And I appreciate you. So today I'm going to be doing something a bit different. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I'm going to share a haul that I got first off. So we'll do that until some people come in here today. And today I'm just going to read one of our messages from an angel message. That's it. So I'm going to wait on that just a moment.
Hi, Lexi.
Oh, hey, Lexi. Just in the nick of time. Oh, I'm doing much better today. Thank you. You guys, I really only said anything about it because I wanted you guys to know why I wasn't doing the AI prompt and meditation, because I have to get this anniversary gift done and I'm really behind. And so the outpouring of love that I got from you guys was just so heartwarming and unexpected. And I appreciate that. I do. I have gotten a little better each day, and it was just kind of scary. My husband was pretty concerned. We did almost go to the ER Tuesday. And I told him I would monitor it. I would pay attention, see what's going on, because I have tinnitus. I kind of thought, it could be connected to my ears, because it felt like a whoosh in my head. And I just couldn't stay awake. Like narcolepsy couldn't stay awake. Like I took Benadryl or a sleeping pill or NyQuil, couldn't stay awake, that kind. Like I fought it. But I did get lots of sleep this week. And I didn't have to do chores. That was nice. That's always nice, isn't it, Kylie?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I'm all for that, but not being ill and all for it, just kind of all for not doing it.
Anyway, I'm going to show you, first of all, I have some cool news. I get to do a table. I was going to do it this weekend, but now I'm going to do it at the end of the month after my family reunion. I get to do a table out front of the Steampunk shop, absolutely free. She's going to let me have a table out there to draw people in for the weekend, like a Saturday, Sunday. And I'm so excited. And after that, we are going to find a corner for me, and I'm going to have some stuff in the Steampunk shop downtown, which is really cool. And I'm so excited. She and I did discuss some other things where she's in the city council and does the downtown planning committee stuff. And they have some events coming up. There's a Ren Fair at our fairgrounds coming up, things like that. And she may require some help, and I can split some table space with her there too. So you secretly wanted me to go to the ER. I was this close. I was this close because I felt like my blood pressure was really messed up. Honestly, it took me a couple days to figure that out, though. Like, I was like, what is this feeling? What is this that I'm feeling besides fibromyalgia? What is going on with my head? And what is this? And then I realized it felt like I was hanging upside down. Like all the blood was rushing to my head. And I did some digging and looked online and tried to figure out what would create that scenario. And I think I could have had low blood pressure at the time, which I usually have great blood pressure. So it would be surprising. Okay, so when I was downtown, I went back down there Saturday, got my hair cut, dyed it pink, got my hair cut. Had Bill just drop me off, and I told him I'm going to walk up one side of Main Street and back down the other and end up at the Steampunk shop. And that's where, she and I made all those plans. But I stopped at the used bookstore, and I found another author that does the cool thing with the black and white photos. You guys know. Hi, Animates.
Hi, Anne.
I always want to say Anna makes. It just wants to roll off my tongue like that, but it's Ann makes. Glad you made it. So this is like the David Bloom books that I have about the opera and talkies, the history of talkies. That's all in photos. I found another author for us. I almost want to gatekeep this one because there's not very many of these out there, and I'm going to have to make copies, I think. But the book series is, it does not say, it's by, his name is Dickens. Let me get to something Dickens. It's not Charles Dickens. It is not Charles. I found it when I was looking him up on Thrift Books. John Dickens. Why can't I see it?
I saw John Springer there.
Yeah, I think he had something to do with the publishing part of it.
Oh, right.
I mean, Homer Dickens, that's his name.
Oh.
So they are individual books, and the guy at the used bookstore only had a couple of the ladies. He had Katharine Hepburn and he had Marlene Dietrich, and I should have got Katharine as well. And then I got all talking, all singing, all dancing. So it's musicals. But I'm just going to do this real quick. Look, I mean, come on, look at that. And it's, black and white photos of it from Hollywood. Some from the set, some are headshots. Just really cool. There's a bunch of circus stuff in here from my circus book, and which says to me, that's why you were waiting. Look at this. It's Judy Garland. Yeah, in a clown outfit.
Wow.
But look at that. So these are really cool. This one has the variety, and that's why I chose it. There's a lot of circus stuff in here. And then this one, boy, Marlena, and it's chronological. So we'll start here, and I'm just going to do a flip, just a big flip for you. It'll show her as a little girl, and then there's her as the Mona Lisa. I'm not sure why. There's a bunch of headshots like this. Oh, isn't that great? So if you're looking, go to your local bookstore, ask for Homer Dickens if they have by author. This one, I love these. They're so good. That face. And see what you can find. So
that's John Wayne there.
A what?
Sorry, where your hand was, I saw John Wayne, I'm sure.
Oh.
It was much further on. It was.
I don't know where my hand was now.
Yeah,
I'll have to look. I haven't.
Yeah, I could see.
Oh,
there.
Right there.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Here he is there. Here he is. Nope, that's not him. It's such a good book. So anyway, we've got David Bloom, and now we've got Homer Dickens. So you feel like you got up too early, your eyes won't stop watering. Oh, I'm sorry. Or I'm making you sleepy. Okay, so we're gonna pull one card. Oh, I'm gonna do one more thing here. I know I shared pictures, but I finished these after our live stream. They got finished. So there were jewels that I added to the pin and to that. So they got finished then. I think this is one of my favorites right here because I used that thing from the string or the yarn, and it's metal and it's old, and I just glued those pieces down. This is a rivet from a pair of jeans or something, and I put a diamond in it. And I love the texture paste there and the edges.
I think that looks like something that would be in an Indiana Jones movie.
Really?
Something that there would be a door and you had to press something to go through. I think it's very
great.
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, and then this one has a key and an old rusty snap on it, and the clip, I did a fake rust with some sand and paint, and this one has a clip like that. So I thought that was fun. another favorite here with an actual copper washer. And I decided, normally I would put a little paint on the sand, but I decided I liked it the way it was, so I left it. And notice what I did here. I just went up through that hinge and created a loop here. So, and then this can get pinned onto something like that. And then a few little extras here that didn't have anything to do with that. This was a frame that had a picture of the couple from Twilight, the movie, on it. I don't know, Bella and I don't know. And so I cut out an eye from an old black and white magazine. I put some words on the back. It's pewter or something that looks like pewter. Words on the back. And then a little ribbon on the thing, and added a clip to it that happened to match. Totally an accident. I love I am enough. Oh, and the key. This is an old key. I just threw some broken jewelry on it and a clip, and I think that'll look great dangling from a side. Another one. Oh, I love this. This is from one of those wooden bracelets that has like the Virgin Mary and a bunch of little bits of artwork, and it's like glued to a piece of wood. And this was like little boy blue sort of, but I guess it's a nun. It doesn't really look like a nun. And then an old button. And I just love the way that came out. And we've got our cork here that I added a few more elements to. I've got a little waterfall of rhinestones on the top, coming down the side, this bit here, and a little bit of this here. So that says balance. I don't know why we're balancing, but we are. It's got a clip. So I thought those turned out so fun. I'm going to be adding those to, probably not all of them, but a few of them to my journal and places I'm going to look and see the perfect spot for them, you know. And you ready to get to what we're going to do today? Oh, we have one more thing. One more thing. We have this. So we're just going to do one angel message today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting the popcorn ready for the total chaos that's happening in the breakup of the millionaire narcissists today. And I hadn't looked at the news for a couple days because I was not feeling good, and it was really making me feel super triggered. And it was pretty great. When I opened it, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I opened TikTok. I was trying to avoid it. It was making me stressed out, and that just made my week. And that might be why I'm starting to feel better. I don't know. So we're going to just pull one here. There we go.
It's like tuning into your favorite comedic soap opera.
Oh yeah. It was like a soap opera. I'm here for that.
Can't wait for the next episode.
Oh, me too. They're just, that's what happens when you get narcissists together. Yep. So let's see what we have. I don't think we've had this card before. The picture is really nice. She's like on a bridge and there's a waterfall, it looks like. And it is searching within. And what I see outside myself is simply a mirror of my inner self. So true. Today, I empower myself by looking past outer conditions and searching within for the source of a difficulty in my life. My inner wisdom will always help me face life's challenges. It provides the best answers and my greatest healing. As I study myself, I am transformed. Oh, that's nice. Oh, Lexi. Okay, I'm not going to give the details here, but I want to say there has been a giant breakup. And they each own their own social media app, and they are fighting and sharing secrets and, calling each other out. And oh, it's good. Okay, so that is our card for today. I'm going to go ahead and take a little picture of that. I didn't post the pictures last week. I am so sorry. I'll do it at the same time I do this, okay? just because I was busy with my weekend, and then, normally I post them on Monday, busy with my weekend, and then I was so sick. So, I mean, I just didn't even get up on Monday. I slept for like 18 hours, and I could have slept for 24, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. Okay, let's get out the good stuff here. So my 10th anniversary is coming up. And
Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. We're glad to have you here. With my 10th anniversary coming up, you guys know I often make my husband something, and I try to do one a year. And when I make him something, I will add the year of our anniversary into that mix. And 10 is a pretty big deal. So today I'm going to continue working on this. This is all glued down, and I will explain the things I glued down here. But I have work to do on this, and I want to share with you now that we have, having the glue dry is the hard part, really. What I've dug out here, my next move for this, and what I have going on here. So I have a bucket of stuff, and I have more stuff behind me, but I did some digging this morning. Now I have some requirements for this, and they are, because this is going to go into the RV. It's going to go into the camper, which is, I don't know why I called it an RV. It's a camper. We're decorating it all steampunk. We've put some black ornate trim in there, which is foam. I've got some ceiling tiles that look like copper, which is foam, and it'll insulate the camper, which is kind of fun. We've got some other little steampunk elements we've been adding, and this is going to go on the wall. One of the requirements for this, though, is it has to be stuck up with this stuff, because we don't want to screw anything into the wall and have a leak or for whatever reason. Plus, it's hard to get things to stick to the wallpaper that's in there, which is probably going to get changed after a while. But we want to be able to take it off. So it needs to be lightweight enough to have this stuff, which is it's like a gel stuff that's double-sided. We have discovered that it works in there. So it's going to have to go on it. So I couldn't choose things that were like super heavy. Like I really want to use something like this, that's, a gauge, but it's heavy because it's iron. So I'm having to make choices about that, that are lighter in general. So, having some challenges, Kylie and I were talking about this earlier, really, it's good for us to have a few little requirements or challenges within what you're doing. Sometimes, if you're doing like a collaboration and there's a requirement for, it's just a great way to get you guided in a direction. So, with that said, I wanted to have things that meant something here, first of all. So one of the things, every time we are out on a walk, we find one of these antique style pull tabs right here. And I always say, oh, look, we must be in the right place when we see them. Command hooks. They're kind of like command hooks. Yeah.
Command hooks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joanne, go ahead. Change your, it's going to get better. This is not painted yet. So, anyway, I've got one of these here because they are significant to our walk. This is a drone blade, like propeller right here, because that's what he does. This is a little tire from a broken piece of a van that the guy that does the metal detecting on our property, he brings me weird stuff and just puts them in a box and throws them on the porch. And that was in there. And we go on our road trips. We try every weekend to get somewhere. The number 10, because it's our 10th anniversary. There's a ring here because, wedding. And I've got some other things that are going to go in here too. Like, when we got married, we had our wedding in the forest, and we were there for 3 days. And it was a campground. but we rented it for 3 days. And I sprinkled these all over the place, and they're wood confetti that says love on it. And I've got a few of these left, and I've included these in some of the other projects for him. So I am going to put this on here somewhere. It's going to be kind of a requirement because it's from our wedding. So let's put this here because I know I want to use that. We know we're going to be using that. Put it off to the side here. I don't think I need it on me. And then I've just got, some other bits I pulled out here. Let's see. I got these little people, I thought. If I don't want to use this antique ceramic set of people, I could, if I wanted to add people, use some of these, but I would have to repaint them. I actually picked 2 of them out. The other one's in here somewhere. I don't know where they're at. They kind of go with the tree, don't they? Where's the other one? There he is. More like us, and I could repaint, like the hair. I would never wear yellow. I would definitely repaint that shirt, things like that. Might be fun. So those are a possibility. And actually, let's put these in here in the little tub here. I've got some frames here, and I'll show you why in a minute. I was thinking it's going to be further than just the heart. And I'll show you in a minute. I think I'm going to use this, and I'll show you how. And I just have some other little bits and pieces in here. I almost always add a bird. I'm going to put that in our thing. We've got some mushrooms. I want to have something from nature, which is a little plastic pine cone. I could use a real one. Or I've got these little pieces from nature. They're off a tree. They were that's how I made the choices that I made that went in here. Things that are significant to us in our relationship and things that, we have done over the years. So when we look at it, it has some meaning. We go on little trips to watch shooting stars, meteorites. When we know it's time for that, we often will go out and find a really dark place in the woods to go look. We missed did you guys raise your hand if you saw the lights this week? The northern lights this week, or the aurora borealis. Julie, I got those wood hearts because I didn't want I didn't want to leave garbage behind. So we had I had a jar that with little tiny bags, and I've shown you guys the bags. They had like a key stamped on them. And I used one in the journal here. And it could be my last one, I think. But I had the little bags there. I stamped on all of them. And I had a little scoop in this jar. And it had birdseed and little wood hearts in it mixed together. So it was, Did you get to see them, Kylie? The Northern Lights?
I didn't see them a few days ago, but I have seen them. Yep.
I've never seen them. We keep trying to see them. And we should have been able to because they saw them in Portland, 2 hours south of us.
I was going to say, they've been coming further and further south. I mean, it's rare for further south in Scotland to see them, but even they've seen them at times. So they're getting further and further. They're south,
and it has to do with the way the sun, when it has a burst, and the angle of the earth,
and the particles,
So, I tried to see them every night. I even set an alarm one night. But we have too much light pollution in our backyard. We just can't. And we have a hill in front of us across the street. So we have a very limited view of, what's happening out there. And even though we go and try to watch all this stuff in our backyards, it's difficult because there's too much light. I mean, we're on the edge of town, and it's not like we live in this huge city, but there's too much light bouncing off the hill, and it's just right in our backyard. I was really sad though, because I tried. I really did. I've never seen them. I'd like to see them. I think it would be great. It's pretty magical, in fact. So, yeah, I'm sad.
But even just watching the stars, if you don't even see the aurora, even watching the stars is magical.
We
love
to go. It says Wanderlust.
Yeah.
And I think this sums up us really. But what I should do is make a bracelet out of it, because that's what it was intended for. I have some natural elements here, like I can't remember what this is called. It's what they make glass out of. It's like from volcanic silica. It's come on, I can't think of what it's called right now, but it's a stone that's been chipped into a heart, and I thought that was fun. I just, the kind of choices that I made were things that could have some significance. Of course, a cross and a heart, so rusty, but I decided to maybe don't want to cover. Could put wings on this thing. I mean, that's kind of cute. Love a good fuse, because it looks like a lightning bolt in these ones, and I've used them in other projects for him. Let's see. I've got like this thing, the wind up thing is kind of fun.
It's like a face, almost like a kind of elephant or
But unfortunately I can't use things like this, and I want to, because they're so heavy, and I'm trying not to add any additional weight that, if I can get away with that. I do have some hardware bits in here. That's a wood earring. There's some metal flowers, just stuff I gathered. I did cut out a king and queen at first, thinking maybe I would use these. I mean, when I do a project like this, I will go through and have, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't, but I'm going to prep this anyway, or I'm going to make this little piece anyway, if it's something small. And that's how I end up with fun little pieces to work with on my next project. So it doesn't bother me if I cut these out, and then, that's fine. I'm okay with it. They were ugly cards, but so these will probably get used in something else. I'm going to put that there. And this randomly I found, My Love for You is a Journey, starting at forever and ending at never. And it's by Anonymous. And I think I'm going to use that in somewhere on this. So I'm going to put this bucket back behind me. And there's a tree charm, but we'll see what I end up pulling. I never really know for sure until I get more done. So,
hi, Carla. And Carla says, was it obsidian?
Oh, obsidian. Thank you so much, Carla. Hey, Carla. I'm glad you're here. And thanks for letting us know that, because, yeah. Okay, so the other thing, I want this on something. I want it on something. And first I pulled out this is part of my process, I dug through some wood bits that I had, and I thought, well, I could do something like this, maybe put some hooks on it, make it functional. I've got a broken cigar box, but it would cover up the good bits. I've got maybe that, but I mean, I just kind of went through these items and tried to decide, but then I put them in this box, and I thought, why not a box? And looked all over for a box that was the right size and couldn't find it. This one is kind of okay here. That's kind of okay. But then I came up with something better, and that's just part of the process, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. I don't always know exactly. I have to kind of try different things and, to figure it out. I thought, how about, let's see, do this one first. How about a book cover? How about I take off a book cover? It's nice and light. It would have a good surface to put the tape on that sticks the artwork to the wall. I could mock hang it from, like a wire. I think it's great in red, also great in blue, but even better right here. I think this is our winner. This is it, because it says Sam Jones' latest sermons. I would never. It's got such a soft, beautiful spine, but I would take all that away, put that there, and then I get to see all of this peeking out. I love that. What do you guys think? And it's okay if it hangs over a little. I'm all right with that. I'm not bothered at all. I love it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this off now. So I'm going to take a blade. Don't let me mess this up. Don't let me mess this up. Hi, Celia. Oh, we've been missing you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, this is a fabric cover. I might have to just use scissors there. It doesn't want to go through. It is fabric though. It's really worn. Somebody loved this. I don't know why, but they did. Is it bad? Okay, now I'm going to go back over here. Trim that up a little. And then I can't wait to use this on something. Do you see this? It's so worn, this fabric. It's like cotton. It is cotton. Isn't that funny? I don't know if this has a date. Look at that paper right there. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, thank you, Celia. Okay, 1910. And look at those. Very cool. And it's, you know, I mean, the paper here is, oh, look at the outline in the halo here. And it's so brown, this paper. Beautiful. It really is beautiful. Okay, so this is just crumbling, so I'm going to go ahead and chuck it. Not that, though. I'm going to hoard that. At least I'm honest. I'll be hoarding that piece. And petting it regularly. All right. Okay, and the next thought, I definitely want to add, where's it at? I definitely wanted to add a locket. And I have quite a few little lockets in my jewelry bins over the years. And I never use them because I hoard them. And I pulled out some of them here. This is just one. The other ones were much smaller. I do have one hanging here that I got out first. I thought there's no way. There's just no way. I'm not going to. I mean, my grandma, I have her lockets with my little face and my cousin's little face, and they were so tiny. And this is so beautiful, but there's just no room in there to put anything. So I went bigger, had this one, and decided against it until I found this one. And this one is not old, you guys. I bought it new. It's got birds on it. There's my birds. And it opens up and it's like that. It's also got this on it, which is intended to wear as a necklace, or you could pin it on. It doesn't really latch, but that's okay. I have a plan. So what I did here, we know we're going to do this, and this will get painted. What I did here, I took a piece of, I took some pictures from our wedding, and I pulled them out and copied them. And then I have this, they're sticky notes, and you can write on them on one side, and they're clear. So I created this. I traced around it and created my template for this. It goes this way. And I took these pictures, and I cut that out in the clear, and I went around with the clear piece like this, and I went around and got the right spot. Because, you know, when you're trying to, and you're kind of flying blind when you lay something down on top of a picture to cut around it, having something clear gives you the opportunity to see what's going to be in your frame. And this was one of my favorites because we're all making goofy faces. My best friend Angelita face.
But that's a great tip on how to get something to fit, because often, you know, you might cut something and then it's too big or it's too small, or
Exactly.
you miss a good bit. So that's a great tip.
You can also use, you know, a piece of acetate, or, you know, it can be anything you can see through, make your template, and then you can kind of move it around. The other way to do that, obviously, if it's a frame, you can take the items out of the frame, the glass, that, you know, lay the frame down on it, move it around, because then you can trace inside the frame. But I couldn't do that with this because it's solid. So this one I love. We're looking at each other when we both kicked our foot up. It was pretty hilarious, really. So that's how I came up with those. Now, the other thing I did here, because these have these rounded corners, I used my corner punch and took a little scrap from what I cut off there and decided which one was the best match for that, you know, to get the right sort of angle on it, and found that. So, ta-da, I have these. I've got our goofy faces, and I've got the kissing pose.
Oh.
So I trimmed them and trimmed them and trimmed them to get them to fit. And I'm going to lay them like that. So when you lift it up, you know, you can see they're both right side up. So I'm going to glue these in now, and we're going to let these glue while we get this one started. We're going to do some painting on here. Kind of thinking that the overall plan is going to be some sort of wire up here, and it's going to mock hang, you know, from whatever is here. It'll still have the tape on the back, so it doesn't wiggle around in the camper too when we're moving. And then I'm going to have probably something hanging here, or I'll put it here and put something else here. That I'm kind of going in that direction. I really like this here. And it could be that it's just there, you know, but I really like that. Not sunshine, not super significant, but, you know, because I avoid it, but, you know, it looks cool right there. And I do put crowns on everything, and it kind of has that look. So I guess it is significant. Look how these look right here. You see that? And this, that's cool. So I might do something very uneven. This is weighted to that side. This might bring more balance in, or I could do it this way. Or if I wanted to go even, but I'm thinking this. So you can open it and see inside. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to have to carve a little hole for that piece or cut that piece off, so it doesn't sit like that, or I can make it sit like that. I mean, I might be able to figure that out. So anyway, that's kind of the plan. I may end up, I was thinking this originally when I bought it, it's an antique. I probably spent 20 bucks on this. I have no idea. I went up to the counter with all this stuff, and she goes, oh, 80 bucks. And I was like, what? It was like at this really cool antique store with all this manly stuff. And they were all just little bits that I had found, a little broken this and a little, you know, and this. I have no idea what I paid for all those silly things, but I did get some steampunk goggles. I got some real ones, some absolutely real ones. Those were probably a good portion of that. And I got her down to $60. And I didn't tell Bill. I was like, don't tell my husband. He was out in the car. He's going to kill me. You know, he had handed me a wad of cash. So in the end, he knew how much I spent. But so this is kind of too big. Even if I put like a little piece of hardware or shelf, kind of, it's one of those things I use all the time. Hold on. Where did I put it? Now, I don't know. Maybe I didn't stick one in here. There are ways to create, if you're trying to do something that sticks out like that, you can use a hinge or a piece of hardware that maybe sticks out. Like, I can put this underneath. I got something stuck to my arm and I don't know what it is. What? This? It's just flapping off my arm. So I could do, you know, something like that if you want to add. That's why I say everything can be a bracket. It's all brackets to me. But, you know, something, a bit of hardware like that would be kind of cool. If I wanted, I could put a piece of wood on it, or, you know, something like another one of these even. And I have the spot for this, but I mean, that would work. That would not be terrible. That's kind of cool.
I like it.
Yeah. But then this is heavy. So it may or may not end up with people that way. Another way would be to, you know, add other things underneath it to build up kind of a shelf, like, and get.
Hi, Paula.
Paula, hello, darling, to you too. Oh, I'm glad you got to pop in. Oh, hospital stress. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I,
sorry, Paula.
I'm thinking of you. All these darn mixed media assemblage artists are driving up the price of junk. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it's true.
Paula, I'm sending love. I'm sending love. Something happened when I was digging through, and I was like, oh, what is that? You know, it was sitting like this and it looked like a globe to me. And what it is a ring that doesn't have a thing on it right here and a bead. So I'm going to do that, turn it upside down and create some sort of a globe out of it. I think that's cool. So I may, you know, that's an option. We've got some other little pieces here too. Springs. I love a good spring. I do have some other springs behind me on the counter too. Some larger ones. And I did not dig through my hardware downstairs. Just please note. And I do want to use this somewhere on it. So, so that said, that's the plan. Not sure about this. We'll put that off to the side. We may end up adding a tree, but let's paint this first, shall we? Let's get it painted. I think that's important, and get these glued down. So, and then this I'll end up wiring on or something. I could put a nail. I love that I have to think outside the box all the time when I do things like this and figure it out, you know, like maybe I could glue the head of a nail, a flat nail right there. Put the nail into the hole, glue the flat head down, and then it'll be able to rotate. Of course, it's not like I can decoupage planet Earth on it. So, it, you know, it doesn't really matter if it rotates, but it does look like a globe, doesn't it? Isn't that funny? So, you know, just coming up with little solutions. Those are good lessons for your brain, by the way. Really good lessons for your brain to have to come up with that stuff. This will get painted. Oh, and I have these pieces. Also, if I wanted to add anything on the sides, or if I need to add more over here. I thought these are paper, and I put backs on them, and they look like the real deal. So I was actually gonna clip or punch some holes, put some eyelets in, and make like some pins that hang like a brooch. Put a pin on the back and hang some charms off of it. I think I'm gonna put it on some wood though too. All right, so long-winded, that was that. I think we have a direction. What you guys think? So I'm not going to do anything to this butt except for this. I'm going to get those edges just a little bit and get a little oxidization. Not that this would oxidize. Oh, and then I put it back. What the heck? What's wrong with me? Alert, house clearance going on over the road from you. Oh no, dumpster diving. Here you come. So just kind of creating kind of a halo around it. I mean, it's good on its own. It really doesn't need this, but just as a frame, creating that halo and that, you know, it draws your eye into what you want people to see. Not that anybody's going to see this but us, but you know. Oh, I needed to fray this side because it's that cotton fabric, and I think being frayed is a good idea. I will trim it right here. I'm going to trim it a little bit more, actually. I'll have to glue that down. Just a little. Driving up the price of junk. That's right. Fraying the edge. There we go. This just looks clean. I flipped it over. Not ruining it. I always try to start with a clean background for you guys, unless we're doing something super grungy. All right, and then a little bit of this with my walnut ink crystals and water. Just, you know, a little extra grunge. Never have too much grunge, right? I love this. It's embossed. It's, you know, somehow it's embossed on cotton. I don't know how they did that, but so I've got these corners opposite each other that are a little grungier, and I could go back in at last looks, and this is the kind of thing I might adjust, but there's even a weird spot on it. Who knows? Who spilled something?
Hi, Diane. Sorry, Sharon.
Oh, you're fine. Diane, hey. I don't know if you guys know, but Diane is doing a special right now. It's Use It or Lose It. And she asked me if I wanted to do a Thursday night with her. So we're going to try to plan a Thursday night for next month. And I'll see if I can get in there, and we'll have a Use It or Lose It session. So I'm thinking the 3-in-1, because this is metal. 3-in-1 is good for a lot of things. It's more like a hot glue, or a, you know, like a cold glue. Cold glue. But it dries pretty quickly. It grabs well. I'm going to put this, I think, underneath it, and I might go over it with some glossy accents. So these are on here forever after this. But it is not an antique or anything. And I'm probably going to add something else to around the edges. I'm putting the funny picture on top. Avoiding the magnets, because it closes with a magnet. It's just meant to look like it closes with the little clasp or the latch, kind that would go on a coin purse. It's got that look. It's so funny. I got to get the pictures framed back up and back in their spots, or Bill will know exactly what I'm up to. Because, you know, if he comes upstairs, the printer's at the top of the stairs with the other computer, like the business computer and the Cricut, and the frames are right there, you know, empty on the desk. So that'll be important when I get done here today. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry over here, and let's do a one of these. Like, this is part that I had cut off. I just want to make sure it's not going to ruin the photo because I glued it down. So I'm going to try a little experiment with glossy accents on it just to make sure it's going to be okay. I'm sure it will, but you know, sometimes printer paper does weird things. Oh yeah, it looks like it's going to be all right. I have to figure out what else goes. I could use resin too. That might be okay. I need to figure out what I'm going to put around it. That'll still let me close it. And it could even be a bit of embossing powder. Could take just my embossing pen and fill it in with something. So it doesn't look, because it looks cheap. You know, you can see the metal looks cheap here. It's such a fun thing. The back of it's even beautiful. Maybe I need to put a hook here so that you can take it off. Maybe. And leave this on there. That might be a good idea, actually. All right. So this is our experiment. I'm going to put this away. Don't need that anymore. Let me get a drink of water. So how is everyone? Use it, make it, or lose it. That's right. I need a day with reruns. I haven't been on YouTube in ages. I did pop by your make it or lose it last Thursday, and Mariah was actually there, which I was surprised. Okay, so I'm going to get some paint out. It's time. If you notice right here, my crackle is coming off. So I have two choices here. I can try to glue that down, like put a wash over it, or I can pull it off. But I will have to underneath so this doesn't peel off, these other things that I put down. And that's sand. We'll be covering that. I do need to make sure that that's down. So it'll all get sealed in the end anyway. So he and I connected through music. Our first date was karaoke. We had karaoke at our wedding. I decided also to put music paper in the background on part of this for that reason. And I'm just picking things that, mean something or tell our story along the way. And, I might be digging for more things also for that. Okay, paint color. I have to decide. Let me pull something out real quick. I want to show you. I'm always doing the same colors. I can't help myself. I always think, I'm going to do a different palette this time. But I always end up back at this. Always. No matter what, I end up back here. And this is embossing powder. It's paint. It's Nouveau Mousse. It's, it's everything in those shades that I love. But they're just my colors. And I can't help it. And those are the colors we have in the camper. So I'm going to stick to that. But I'm going to add more rust this time. So I'll have some rusty items and I'll have some patina items, I think. So let's get those colors out. I'm going to pull out some brown. I have to decide, do I want more rust on here too? And I could do real rust with the this stuff and vinegar, or my favorite choice to not have absolutely real rust on there would be just paint, because I can get there quick. So I'm going to pull out these sort of colors here. Got a bit of yellow. I'm going to need probably, let's see, I want black. Need a nice dark color to get down in all the little crevices before I start. And I'll use ink this time. This is going to be kind of an experiment. I'm going to use ink and let it guide me along, kind of decide where the other stuff goes. Wish I had this in a brown though. I do have the graphite. I could make brown. All right. Well, I'm going to drip a little bit of, this is going to get messy. I know it is. We all know this. I do have my sand here as well. I'm going to put it off to the side. I have so much jewelry stuff on the desk because I've been making other things. I need to get my turquoises out. I've got that. I'm definitely going to need some white to mix with that to make a nice lighter color. And of course we need the metallics, and I have the bronze, and I'm going to get some of this real quick. I'm behind me getting some copper. If I can. Where's it at? There we go.
So Sharon Silye says, your voice is so nice and calming to listen to. And she'll probably be falling asleep soon.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope I'm not making you sleep. That's always. No, I don't but thank you.
I think she was saying it's relaxing.
So, yeah. I never thought that is such a nice compliment. Yeah. Thank you. I never thought I would hear that in my lifetime, because I usually have such a voice, that's how I am. So that is such a sweet thing to say. You just made my year. So.
and Paula is shouting prawns, question mark, well, 4 question marks.
Oh, is she trying to figure out what to cook or what to eat? Or is there a prawn on my desk I need to get in the fridge?
Yeah, I have no idea. Just prawns.
Just prawns, that's all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drip a little bit of this black down in here. And, it's always a challenge to figure out where you want to put all of your stuff, when you add color and rust and stuff like that to projects like this, you have to decide, you know, where am I putting this? Now let's add a little water. Because I don't want to cover the whole thing. I want it to be like a swath, and then this will get some too, because obviously that's pink. They were plastic, so I needed them. It's the only reason why I kept them, was so I could. I just want to get, let's see. I'm going to use a paintbrush here.
Oh, Paul, I thought you mentioned prawns.
Oh, what did I say? Oh, bronze.
Bronze.
That's really funny, actually. So I've got this. Now, I'm sure mica powder would be good for this, but my goal here is to get down in all the little cracks and make it dark. Because if you're going to, you know, before you get started, you know that in all the little crevices, you're going to want a darker color. So you might as well get in there and get it started first, you know. And then I'm going to allow this to decide kind of where the color flows. See how it created a shape for me? So now I've got this, and I'm going to use that as my guide. I'm going to have to dry it. So I should have had you have some jokes ready for us there, Kylie. Another thing you can do is to put it on and take it right back off to get down into crevices, cracks, anything like that, because you want to age it, darken it. This works for furniture. It's really nice if you have a dark wax. And I'm not going to get that wet just yet because, and I'm wiping this back off. I'm just trying to get down in the cracks. I don't want that to come off. All of it. It's going to want to, till I seal it at least. Got your jokes ready?
I'm trying to find some.
I need to put a little bit more on this side here. So I'm using black here because I'm going to have some rust. And it'll also darken whatever color I'm working with. And I don't know if this was a good choice or a bad choice, honestly, because it's water soluble. But we'll find out. Just a little bit. But I'll be adding color back in, like the coppers and the, you know, and the silver. Want to wipe some away here. Just kind of blot it up. Concentrating on around items, you know, which is hard sometimes to get in there. These are dry baby wipes. They don't really have a stiffness to them. They're probably the worst choice. So when something corrodes, you're going to have, if you look at the way things corrode, they're going to have more color around the outside edges. Also, you can't forget about. I think that's good for that. And I like it. I like the way that, I mean, you have to look past the color when you're doing a project like this. But I like the way it's laid out. We've got this over here and the lighter side here, but this is at an angle, so it's balancing it, because if you cut it in half, then you've got the two and the 1, and you want your mass to be, you know, more equal to have balance visually. Okay, I'm gonna put these away and this away. Okay, I'm going to mute and I'm going to dry this real quick, okay? All part of the process. Okay, I'm gonna mute.
Okay, so I have some jokes. What is the most popular fish in the ocean? These are rubbish jokes, by the way. I'm not going to give you time to guess. I'm just going to tell you because this one's so bad. It's the starfish. Okay, here's a good one. Why does a moon rock taste better than an earth rock? Answers, please. Why does a moon rock taste better than an earth rock? I'll give you a clue. This one isn't suitable for vegetarians or vegans. Will I give you the answer? It's a little meteor. I know, it's bad. Okay, here's one, and I'm going to wait for answers. Why can't a nose be 12 inches long? Why can't a nose be 12 inches long? Well done, Lexi. Have you heard that one before? Or are you looking at the same list of jokes as me? Okay, that was good. I would never have worked that out.
You told a joke. That's
I had to
great.
look them up. I had to look them up.
That's funny. And Down and Dirty with Sharon. Paula, I
Yes.
love it. I love
Yes.
it. That's great. I was like reading when I was heating there. This looks like a lot darker on camera than it is. That's about what it looks like, honestly. I on camera, it looks so dark. Okay, it's time to decide and add some colors in. I think I want to do my number 10 first. Boy, that's hot now. A lot of times when I'm doing texture like this, I'll use sand. I'll use embossing powder. I have really chunky embossing powder that I like to use, and it's not off the table. It's kind of a finishing touch, kind of one of the last things because it's really chunky pieces, and I like it when it starts to melt into everything. But I'm going to be going back and forth with color, and I think I have to decide if I want to do more rust this time. I need to stick to my yellow, brown, and sepia. And so let's make a palette that does that first. And then as a bonus, I'll touch some stuff up with these kind of things after it's more done. And I have to decide if I'm adding more stuff too. I've got more gears I can add. I've got a little tree, but some of the jewelry can go on the outside of it as well, like on the book itself, or it can hang from the bottom of the book. I mean, there are lots of options. So I'm just going to get this part done first, knowing it might need more. All right, let me get something to use as a palette here. Assuming I can get this drawer open. Oof. So one of the things that I really like to use are lids, because oftentimes your stuff will peel right off of it when you're done, and then you could use your paint skin, or you can just throw it away. This is like a Cool Whip lid. I actually need it on this side. So let's get a bit of this, and I'm going to have to add a little more yellow to this. It's not quite the right color. Down and Dirty. That's right. We only need a little bit of it. Boy, look at that paint booger. Haven't had this one open for a while. I don't know why I have to remove it, but it's just important, I guess, to my process. Right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and clean that up. And this is raw sienna. And I also have some King's Gold here that I'll be mixing that with, most likely. Make it a little lighter. And I do like to go back and forth. I think it's funny how when you buy the rust set, they'll tell you, oh, you do this color and then you do this color. And then no, it's, if you're really doing it, you're going back and forth because you're like, oh, this needs a little more red right here. And this needs a little more brown right there. I will need more brown. There we go. And then, and that was raw umber. And then this is raw sienna. I also probably will pull out a little azo gold for some highlights. So there's our rust palette. I can add sand to it at this point too. I want a stiff brush. Stiff brushes are kind of important here. Can't have it too soft. You want to be able to get down in all the crevices. So what I'm using here is my favorite brush, my glue brush, that I also use for things like this as a stiff brush, because, you know, it's a little stiffer from years of use. So the first thing I might want to do is mix that a little bit more, kind of blend some of these colors together. And then I don't care about this. I'm just going to get it on here. Just getting it off my brush. And some of that black, I feel like because it was ink, when we get it again, it's going to reactivate if I get it a little wet in my edges. So I don't like that. It's kind of a big halo, and I don't want it to be like super, you know, crazy outline. I'm going to end up having to put something else right there because I don't like it. And that's fine. They're all opportunities. So what you do is you just keep going until you feel like, oh, that's it. That's what I want, you know? And you'll find little areas you're like, oh, I'm not going to touch that one anymore. That's perfect, just the way it is. And it does need other stuff added to it. Some more decorative pieces. Like this was a plastic button right there, that curly piece. I think I'm going to pull out some clay bits that I made or some resin bits that I made like that and add also. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that's the next step here in the layers, because I'll keep, you know, I'll keep adding. Trying to avoid any straight lines, and I need it to be more random. I want to bring out texture. And rust doesn't have too much yellow on it. I'm going to have it leak out over this in places because this is tin, but I'll probably need to add sand to these places too. Just kind of bouncing, trying not to get the same shape over and over. No straight lines. A stencil brush is good for this too, because it's got, you know, the shape of it is good, but it'll end up making round bit parts, and, you know, you might not want that. So a little more here. And that's a straight line right there. I don't like. And sometimes if you're starting to get like if it's starting to look too even, you go work on a different area, because, you know, your colors will get muddy. And a lot of this isn't going to, I mean, a little show, but it's not going to be, you know, in your face when it's hung up. It's not like we can walk around that side of the wall. Our camper is so tiny and perfect for it. It's so little. One thing you can do when you start getting those straight lines, I was going to say, is take a towel and kind of soften some of your lines, knowing you're going to end up putting another layer on, but this will give you a good outline, a good place to start. It's already starting to look like rust, isn't it? Okay, so I've got my little towel here. Let's get more red down in here. So I'll get this layer kind of going. And when this is done, you should be able to lean in on it and want to see what all those things are and not be able to tell until you really lean in. More yellow. Break that up. That's too much. Break it up. Sometimes you have to stop and let it dry because it is muddy. It's getting muddy. More red. Could use a smaller brush, I suppose. Probably could have 2 brushes out here. There is a finishing touch that I love to add to rust projects like this, like faux rust. And that is the tiniest bit, and it almost is like graphite, tiniest bit of silver Nouveau mousse at the end, just in a few spots. Because you know how when rust gets oxidized, it gets kind of shiny in some areas. There's little shiny spots. That's what it does, is it creates that sort of look. So I go really sparingly with it. See how that line is too even there? I don't like it. And this must come out. Just assuming this has been painted, all this stuff was laying in this tray, and then it sat there over time and the rust leached out. So that's kind of what, in the end, I mean, not like all of these things would have naturally happened, but you guys get what you guys smell what I'm stepping in here?
Mm-hmm. Rust.
So back and forth with the color, but not muddy. See, that looks way too even there. I don't know if you guys can see what's happening there. See that? It almost looks like, polka dots, and I need to remove some of it in some places, which that was cool. Baby wipes leave fuzz. I'm going to get a regular paper towel over here, okay? We want it to have lots of texture, but maybe not fuzzy texture. I will get to the point with this project where it will get the Old English treatment too, because that also adds that finishing extra touch that you don't, that makes it richer, and it'll get down in all the little cracks too. So I think at this stage, what I want to do is get some glue out and work on that. But let me dry this brush because I'm going to need it again, and I want it to be dry. Let me put this over here. Get that out of my way so I don't get paint on it. So let this have an opportunity. Okay. So the glue I might want to add there because it's lifting up, and I want this to be glued down. So let me show you right there in that corner. Don't worry, it'll be blended out more too. Let's get more stuff. I'm going to use, I don't really want something shiny. I'm thinking if I can get this underneath there, my matte gel medium, maybe. Let's see if I can get it underneath there without destroying it. If so, I'll just tear that little piece off. That's fine. But I'm going to kind of seal that. I want a really soft brush this time because I'm trying not to ruin it. So I take a little matte medium here. I want to be able to still get down in those cracks. I need the texture to be there. It doesn't actually have to get down in the cracks, just the texture. Just gently, soft brush. Okay, if I can lift and add my medium down here. See if it sticks to metal. I'm assuming. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit more around these edges because I really want this to stay in place because the glue will stick to the glue. So, and any of these other edges where I feel like I might lose some of my crackle. Okay. Whoop. All right. Let's get that one drying as well. Okay, now I'm going to look through my bits and see what else I want to add while this is having a moment. Let's get these out of my way. I need to make some desk space here first. I'm going to leave the copper and the copper patina stuff out. I do have some other brushes in my thing here too. That was for the black. That can dry. Ew, that looks gross. Don't look at it. That was gross. Felt like I was changing a diaper there for a second.
Oh.
Ew. Okay, there we go. This over here. All right, I'm going to get my little box back out here and see if there's any bits in here I want to use. Come on, desk is shrinking, guys. All right, so one thing I could do is, so I have this here. I know I want to put this here, so this will need painted. And I might do that one in just a different color altogether. Maybe a red. Maybe like an aged crackly red. That would be kind of cool because it goes good with turquoise. And decide if I want to add some. These were earrings that I wore. Ridiculous. They're so big. Add that. I have some wood ones also that might be an option. Let's see if I can find a pair that match here. I have these little guys. No, they're just way too small. I feel like these ones are very pokey. I know I have other wings. Let me grab my resin stuff because I have some resin wings. I needed to get it out anyway. I've got this box of goodies and I've got another one with some of the bigger pieces right here. Put it in a different container. I think the wings are in this one. On this box of goodies, there's nothing like when you just don't know what to do with yourself, spending a day making resin or clay items, you know, with your molds is fun. Ooh, that guy is nice. It really is nice because it's got the real patina, that swelligant on there. That matches. Okay, let me see here. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Try not to get in the paint. All right. I think I have some wings down here. Another smaller one. Let's see. Ooh, here's a lock. I might want to use one of those and hang a key from it. Let's have that.
Which do you prefer, Sharon? Resin or clay?
Honestly, this clay is really good for going around corners and stuff, and it acts really nice. It's not stiff. It's good for rounded items, but the resin is good for other items.
So is that air dry clay or is it the stuff you have to bake?
It is the stuff that I shared from. It's a compound, and it's Formflex. Yep. Formflex.com is where you find it, and you can buy things like this from her too. She's got the giant molds. She sent me these. No, that was
I remember you talking about her before.
So yeah, so I recommend going there, and I can get you a code for that as well if you want a discount. We could work something out. Here's the other set of wings I have. I'm going to set that there because I need to make room on my desk here, so I need to move some of these. So between, Bill had made me some giant keys with his 3D printer. It was one of the first things he did, but I do have real keys, so I could use those too. But that might be fun since he made it. Okay, I'm going to set this to the side. All right. I'm going to put this one on my lap for right now so I can make some room here. We know we might use and try some of those items. I have, if I wanted to add a flower, that would be the way to go. Let's see. I do have this little key here if I want to. Another ring. Hold on just a sec. Dig, dig, dig. These things are plastic, and I don't know what they were intended for, but I use them in my assemblages all the time because those have been spray painted. They were clear. Some sort of an S-hook for, something specific, but they're really good little embellishments for stuff like this. I've got my people. I've got a tree. Don't think I'm going to do the tree unless I do a tree charm. Or I add a pine cone. I could probably come up with a real one. Let's see. I just want to get this off my desk.
Hi, Anne. Great you could make it.
Hi, Anne. We're doing something assemblage-y today. Let's see. I have some more gears to look at here if I want to add, and get in with the specific colors. But I need to layer up on this. So I've got my, background rust layer first. Let's see. I think maybe the only other thing I would pull out of here would be a couple more little embellishments or a bird. Perhaps. I don't want to completely cover what's cool on this book, honestly, but I do have some little pieces here kind of could look at. I think that's good. Okay, put that away.
While you rummage, I realise I was 24 hours ahead of myself earlier because I put a message in your group, just saying anybody that could come and saying about the different times. And I said that in Australia it would be Sunday morning, but of course it'll only be Saturday morning. And a minute ago I was sitting here thinking that tomorrow is Sunday here, and it's not, it's Saturday. So I'm kind of running 24 hours ahead at the moment.
So those wings I'm going to set over here. Let's put all this stuff out of my way here. My desk is so small right now. So I know I want to use this, and it's probably going to go behind here like that, or like that. And if I put this here, boy, I really like this book. Then the other set of wings right here is these little clay ones, but I think these would need to be where your question was great. This is one of those examples. These are made out of the Formflex compound, and they are wiggly. They're not something I would have hanging off the side. If I did them in resin, which I have the mold, I could do, then, maybe this would be great. But, and also I feel like it wants to, it's okay, the size. I just feel like they're getting lost, and it's not a necessary detail unless I did the bigger ones. So I will put that away. I like to add a bird, but it'll be one of these, and there'll be a finishing thought, and it could be right there on the sun. I like that. And if I wanted to get crazy, I could do two birds, two kissing birds, but that covers that up. Put that to the side. We know we're not going to do this couple because they're too big, too heavy. I only need one of those. This could go someplace, or I could just write on the back of the book. Those are options, because I don't give a card. I give this, this is my card. I do have these little people if I want people, but I don't see that I need people. I'm thinking this is really cool on its own, unless I put them up here. They would have to be painted. It's hard for me to see them in this color and feel okay with them. That's kind of cute right there, though.
Mm.
I kind of don't. I'm not mad at that, but I'm not sure about it either. Got another
So
one.
when are you making this for? I know it's for your anniversary, but when's your anniversary?
It is on the 15th.
Ah, right.
Our
Okay.
10th anniversary. And I've only worked on it one day. It was one day that I glued all that stuff down. I do have some flowers I could add, some more gears, a key. I got it. Just a sec. I'm looking for my little tin of keys. I have other little bits next to me, but it was really for the jewelry I was making. That's a metal flower, which actually should go in here. Let's see. Oh, our globe. Our globe could go anywhere on top here, because what I'm creating here is accidentally a shelf. Or it could go here.
Julie's asking, what color would you paint the little people if you used them?
I would give her red hair. I would, because they've got black hair. I would make our hair color correct, and then I would change our clothing color for sure.
And what kind of paint would you use?
Just
to do
acrylic
that?
paint.
Just acrylic. Okay.
Regular.
Are they plastic? Yeah.
Yeah, they're just plastic. I got a whole bag of them. They're kind of cute. It was just something I got on Temu for assemblages, actually. I just thought they were kind of cute and useful for things like this. So, but they all have black hair. I don't know why. They're Asian, I guess. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna put this over here. Probably not going to use that. And as I'm not using things, I can, I use these birds all the time. They go really nice in the crook of a heart, but I'm kind of liking that guy right there. Thinking I'll do that. Now, if I wanted to add something like that, could, but I don't really think there's enough room for it without covering, just unnecessarily covering the cool book. These little stringy keys. This one, it was the best one. Maybe not. These things are so good. They just, when you're trying to balance something unevenly, like there's a lot of weight on this side, I'm going to visually balance it with other things like this. This feels good on that side. I'm going to set this to the side because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. Put it in here. But that's what these are these kind of things are good for. I do have a flower that I don't hate there. Or this one is a lot smaller and maybe it goes on the sun, or nope, like the bird. Nope, not going to do it. This is how I end up with buckets of stuff. And then here, I know I don't want the fleur de lis. I have some hinges here, which are kind of cool because I can't add a real one. I'm not, I'm not opposed to adding one of those for visual balance, because we know we're going to put the, where'd it go? If this goes here and I want to visually balance it, maybe that's the way to go. Or I have, let's see, that little key can go in there. Or I have the locks. And then I could hang a heart from it. Would be kind of cute. but I'm not feeling these right now. This one I'm not mad at right here, but we'll see what ends up right there. So let's put these off to the side. So we know those are a no.
Hi, Mo.
Mo! Hey, buddy. You know who we need to check on, you guys? I was thinking about it right before we went live, and I will do it when I'm out. We need to check on Trish and Evie. We haven't heard from Trish and Evie for a while. Has anybody talked to them? Because
No,
suddenly I'm concerned. I was realizing it when I was sending out invitations the other day, but it was I was in the middle of other things, so I didn't get to stop and do that. And I think I really want to check on them because it's been a while, and I know that they were having some health stuff. So I do need to add a key on here and figure out kind of where these things are cool too. But I think it would be a good idea to check on them. So I will do it.
Yeah, Mo says she saw Trish in a stream a couple of weeks ago, and she thinks Paula said she was in contact. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah, it'd be nice to check.
It would be, yeah. So I feel like I want something that goes this way. And so maybe a bigger key. I have others somewhere too. I just got to figure out where exactly it goes. I feel like it goes down here somewhere. Just doesn't want to sit there nicely. I have a whole bucket of these here. Hold on. I have some larger ones here. This I kind of like. So bigger ones. This one is so beautiful, but it's heavy. It is gorgeous, but heavy. Let's see. So I can change the color of any of these, and I do know that. So I'm never concerned about that part, especially with a project like this. I'm looking for some balance that keeps it in place. Barely sits on there. That one's cool. It almost looks like a fraternity sort of symbol there. And it's definitely a religious thing, like a Byzantine sort of. That's beautiful. That goes in the nun book. I need to put that in the container for that. Let's see. I know I have bigger ones somewhere. I just don't know. Maybe this one. This one is a real one. It's got the name on the back. You know, I have giant keys all over my house. This is so, so me. I think that would be kind of cool, and I could do some wiring around it and not glue it down, and let it kind of stick up right there. I like that. What do you think?
Are you going to put anything under the 10?
No, these are going to get, the color is going to change a little. But I could, I mean, it's possible that I could find like a tree or like a tree charm, or, so let's wire this all up.
No, I just wondered when you had the key sideways.
Yeah.
If the key could go under it, but no. It felt,
It's worth a wiggle. Yeah. I mean, it's always worth a wiggle. Like to, check out other options.
Because it almost felt as if it underlines the 10, but now I don't know.
Let's see if I have a different charm that feels right. But I am going to use this. I'll wire it up, and I
Mm.
want you to see all of the stamping on that side of the manufacturer. And
I love how it's flat, but then goes rounded.
yeah, it's kind of almost like a sword would be in a handle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a little bit bent as well. So
Hi, Sherry.
Sherry, hey. So I think this way, something like that. After we get it wired, then I'll look at it and see. But let me see if I have something to go underneath that. Now, I wouldn't want to use 2 keys. That's just, you know, this one is so special. Let's see. I love these washers. These are actually rusty because they look like crowns to me, the way they're shaped, or the top of a castle. And I use them in stuff like this all the time. I have used these in at least 2 of the assemblage projects that I've made for my husband for different anniversaries or birthdays. He only gets 1 project a year, though. Only 1. That's it. And it'll have numbers. So let's see if I have something that wants to go here, because I do hear what you're saying. It should be something that is almost long and skinny, like an underline, and it kind of tees into this, right? So let's see if there's something in here that is new that wants to do that. Just gonna sit on there. Oh, I needed to get some of these out anyway, because I'm going to make some little hangers with these, with some wind or some sun catchers with them.
Yeah, Julie says, don't you love rediscovering things you forget you had? Shopping your stuff. And it
sounds like an everyday thing. Yeah. I'm always rediscovering things I have because I stuff them in corners, and then, you know, it depends on the project I'm working on. So I feel like I'm always doing that. That's funny.
It's like a box of treasures you've got there.
Oh, this is all just new charms. There is another key in here, but it's all new stuff. There's a random thing in here. I don't know how it got in there, but for the most part, it's like new charms and things. And the real treasure is in my treasure box. You've seen that, and that could have the answer to what I'm seeking right now too. One of my favorites is this one because it looks like treasure box. And I got 3 of these that have stuff like this in them, but this might be a bit too sparkly for what I'm looking for there. This.
Black beads, no?
What's that?
No. I was just thinking something like black beads, just to ground it. But
I have some rusty bits over here that I mean, I could always go digging after the stream. You know, there's enough to do to keep going here. I've got a tray of rusty things behind me because I remember the stuff I rusted in the jar. I took it out today. And then I added more rust powder, and look what my napkin did. It could get more vinegar and do more too. But I mean, I could do, let's see. That's a, you know.
Yeah, Mo says, not just kind of going through your own stuff, even nosing at other people's stuff too.
Yeah, that is always
asking, what's on the screen at the left at the bottom of the screen. It looks very cool.
This? The
I
hinge?
think that's what she means, yeah.
That was the one I had sitting here.
Yeah. And Carla says, yes, that copper hinge could point horizontally at the key.
I don't think I think it's too big.
Too big. Yeah.
It is just too big. Yeah. That hinge, if it fit down in here, it doesn't. It covers a lot of stuff too. That would have been cool if it was slightly. I don't know. Let me see what I can do. Let's see it. I mean, I wonder if I can trim it. I'm losing some of my 10 there. Ugh. Okay, there was another one. Let me see. Which one was it in? It wasn't in that. Or was it? So, let's see. Maybe one of these locks goes there. Maybe, that one's a bit big. Oh, maybe one of these goes there. I didn't think about that on the inside. Whoops. Maybe, and I can cut this. So this can be, if I wire that up, put it there, I can actually cut this so it looks like it's underneath this piece. So let's see. I'm going to just cut it now.
Yeah, and Anne says it would be Anne says it would be wonderful to be able to gather together and have a stuff swap.
Oh, I would love that. That would be so fun. Okay, I cut it. And I'm going to stuff it under there. How's that? We did it. Yay. Could use some of these rusty washers around here or on our sun. So we'll put those because they're not too heavy. Oh my gosh, you guys look at the paper towel where the washers were. Look at the paper towel. Yay. You know, Maggie does this all the time on her channel, and I'm always in awe. Look at that. She basically just works with rust powder. I'm gonna put this back. No, it's all I just stuck my hand in the paint. At least I didn't get it on the bottom of the tray. That's a good look. I'm about this. Oh my gosh. Get back on there. Oh, goodness sakes. So last Friday when I was live, I had brown spray paint stuck on my hands. Now it's going to be this. You should rust things on fabric. Oh, I do love doing that. Like the safety pins and stuff. Okay, so if I do that, I need to glue that guy down, and I'm going to need to stick something under it because it doesn't want to lay flat unless I just trim out a little bit more here. I don't want it to look cut. I want it to look like it's underneath there. So with this piece, I think it should be turquoise. I think it should have the turquoise look to it. And what I'll do is I'll just choose a couple things that have the turquoise look. And it'll probably be 3 things. Because if I do this, or I'll do an area, that'll count as 1. Maybe the blade, his drone propeller. I don't know why I keep calling it a blade. So let's get this wired up. That's next. It's all the fiddling that prepares us for our next project and helps us to learn new things too. So I'll probably add more of these in the end because I did wash a bunch of these out, but they'll get tucked in here and there where I feel like it needs more balance. I do have another one like this that I really like because it's got it looks like a bolt. So that one I most definitely want to use. It is also a good way to rediscover this will be turquoise, I think. All your products too, Julie, like you said. I got to do something with that paint there. I need to set this to the side. Let's get some wire out. Now, I love the color of this. I love it. It's gorgeous. I may even hang something off of it. Not sure about that part yet, but let's get some wire out. And I might have some like, that's the same color. Got some little scraps on my desk here from something else I was working on. I've also got this in here. There always seems to be some sort of a tangle in this drawer. All right. So I kind of need it to be a different color than that, don't I? Or do I want it the same color? This is actually old wire in the same color. It's a little darker. I've got some, I'm not using my copper because I'm hoarding it. I have to hoard that. I'm sorry. I've got some nice gold here. Let's see. And got some skinnier stuff. Let's go with that for now. Does gold sound good? Or the dead soft copper? I think the copper looks nicer, doesn't it? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Let's do that. I mean, I could still add, oh my gosh, let me get in that paint some more. I could add some gold in, and I also have this kind of copper. I haven't even opened any of these. And that's kind of a different color. So let's have the 3 colors out here. Let's see what we do. Now I'm thinking I can put some like beads on it. This is silly. This. I don't have any place to set this paint. I'm about to get it everywhere else. I feel like Lucy right now. I really do. I did it again.
I think we need to move that paint palette out the way.
I do. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put it on the tray with the rusty stuff. That'll work. Okay. Boy, that was an accident waiting to happen, wasn't it? Put these guys in here because I'm just putting these in this little jewelry box here. And we've got our sun up here. All right. Those pieces. So I'm going to find some little beads, I think. Let me think about my color here too. So I'm going to have some green. The beads need to be kind of small. And these are all a little bit bigger than maybe, oh, there's some gold ones here I could use. Some little gold ones at the bottom. Or one more little thing I can get up here. It's got some other metallic, just odds and ends bits. So when I was sick, I did this. I sat and with just wire and my little jump ring and made all of these little connectors. Just put rings on so many of them. And this whole thing, that's what it is. And I had some of them made up ahead of time, but I just sat and put rings and beaded and wired up all these beads. That's not. That was a good sick activity because I didn't have to think about it. Okay, this just has like some little, all different colors of metal, little metal beads in it. And then I have these here. So first of all, I think I need to do this first. And I'm going to wrap this around kind of, let's grab my pliers. So I think I want to wrap it around the, right in here, just in the center area here. Decide how much. I'm just going to do a random amount here. And So we decided that this goes, I really want the writing to show there. So it's going to have to go this way. So I'm going to lay this down parallel. I'm not going to glue any of this. It's just going to be wired on. I feel like when it's something old like this, I don't want to ruin it. You know? So I just laid it flat, that edge right there. And then I think I'm going to go through here and take another piece flat. So it's just one piece of wire on here. Because otherwise I have a bunch of weird ends that could be sticking up, and I don't want that. So this will create a corner for me. And I'm going to go down here to this end. Hold tight, hold tight. Holding that down. And I'm going to go right here. So I'm still seeing some of that, some of the writing there on it, which I think is so cool. I don't know. I can't cut up an old book that is in good shape, and I have a hard time putting glue on or anything permanent on cool old things if they're, you know, in one piece, like this key. So I really do need to go underneath here. I just don't know if I can. I might have to go around one more time. I know it's probably not worth anything, but I think it's cool and I don't want to deface it, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does totally. Yeah. I mean, it's unlikely that it's something you would take apart, but nevertheless, yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah.
It's just a hard choice to make.
Mm.
So, yeah, see, this is kind of twisted. Like the level of this and the level of this are torqued a little bit. And I don't know if it's meant to be like that or if somebody bent the key, but it's pretty solid. I feel like it was meant to be that way. Okay, because I kind of tied that in. Okay, and then I'm going to take this kind of wire or this wire, I have to decide. And that's what I want to put the beads on and add. So I think this one, unfortunately, the one that's not open. So ready for a new tangle? Yay! And I do put them on here. I even cut these little slots on things for ribbon and for wire, but just always seems to come off somehow. Okay, so little beads. Let's see first. Should have had this ready first. Just a sec. Don't make me do it. Okay. I use lids a lot for things like this. I'm just trying to be able to see into the bottom. So I do have some really sparkly kind of orangey colors. Let's see. This is just one that's on my desk. If I needed to, I could look elsewhere. Little feather. There's another one of those. I bet I have some smaller ones because that is a full set that I have that come in different sizes. Little gold, little pewter.
So Mo is saying that her favourite project of yours was this. I can't remember this. I need to go back and have a look. But it was a squashed can.
Oh
Which
yeah,
maybe also an anniversary present.
it was an anniversary gift. Yep,
Yeah.
it was. And what was the theme for that? Because that was Mo. That was during the one of the
Is that one of the hops?
hop. Yeah,
Collaborations.
yeah, it was. So I can't remember the theme. Was did it have something to do with a can? Martha, was it, or Carla? If you're here and you did that hop, do you remember what the theme was for that one? Curiosity. Okay, so I have also these, and these look red on one side and silver on the other. They look like garnets, but I have more of them if I really wanted to. So those might be some options for me. I really, really like the red one. These are too big after looking at them. And maybe I would add the red one in the middle here. And I don't know. I feel like...
Oh, Mo says collect and create.
Was it? Okay. Well, she's probably got the information in front of her. So yeah, it was. These ones are even smaller. And let's see how it looks. Let's see how it looks. If I want to do the red one in the middle, that looks like a garnet. And then maybe some little ones on each side, kind of embracing the different kinds of metal. And I can't connect this until I am completely done with my rusting bit. So, because I won't be able to paint over it, I want it to keep the color it's got. So have you made a squished can yet, Mo? Curious. I mean, it was fun to do. Okay, so let's say I want to do that, and I really want it to stay in place. So I'm going to try to do something. I'm not a wire wrapper. This is just something I would have experimented with in the past, and I know works for, you know, holding things in place like this. I'm just going to loop it around. I'm trying to kind of keep the wire in the middle. This wire is really weak for this, by the way. But I'm looping it around to pull that through, maybe, if it lets me. And because the wire is so skinny, you can't see, but now it's not going to move. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, and that'll keep the wire suspended in that area. Okay, now I need to pull this down. No. Sure, it will. It moved. Let's see if I can get it back. And clearly, the universe wants me to do this differently. I found my awl. It was hiding between some brushes. Okay. I got the wire loose there. Now I'm going to slide my bead down.
Mo says she hasn't made anything like that because she doesn't actually have cans.
You don't?
She doesn't use cans, so she's never had anything suitable. She'd love to, though, as the love note was epic.
Oh. So I broke my wire. Not the end of the world. I don't want to start over. Please don't make me. It was because I kept fiddling with it. I might have to start over. I did get it down there, though. Look at that. Now I'm going to wrap this side around here. The wire is so skinny that unless I go looking for it, I'm not going to see one strand of it on something. So it's okay that it's on this on the back side. All right. There's always a plan. Always a plan. It does break easily though. This way. So I'm going to hold that in place. And
so
kind of go
to
between
you a time check. That's you at the 2 hours. I just realised.
Oh my goodness.
Gone so fast.
Yeah.
But just in case you're on a schedule.
Well, I think what we'll do, we'll wrap it up here, but I'll continue to work on this and show you my progress. I think you guys kind of know, I've kind of talked about, we're far enough along that I kind of know where I'm headed with this. Please note that if you're looking at this, it's not going to stay this brown. It's just, it's the stages of rust, honestly. And then we're going to have, let's see, I'm going to set this on here. Wrong way. I'm going to set this on here. And we're going to put our other piece on there. Where did that go? Where did it go? It's here somewhere. Oh, come on. I said it someplace. I'm going to have to find that piece. But then we're going to have the other piece there. It's going to go on the book. Just put those in there. And with the sun, that's going to get put behind it. And a wire that's going to go this way. Or not a wire. I don't know. I'm going to probably...
Hi, Mama Juju.
On that hole. Hey, Mama Juju. And of course, we have our locket with the photos. It's really shiny, so I may grunge that up just a tiny bit, but it is kind of a bronze color. And I'll figure out a way to hang this right here and have something on this side for balance, for a little more balance, but it is heavy on this side, so it's really okay. I'll continue to wire this up and let you guys see it when I'm finished, and we'll see how far I get on this today. But my anniversary is on the 15th, so I need to get it done. Right? But thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. And how about a giant round of applause and thank you to you and to Kylie for helping and being so supportive and encouraging. You guys really make my day every time I get to hang out with you. So I appreciate it. And Celia, I hope that you didn't fall asleep. Yeah, you am when you awake. And thank you, Mo, for coming in and linking all those good things. We really appreciate it. Yeah, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on here on YouTube. I am not on Facebook or Instagram anymore. They are owned by Mark Zuckerberg, and I can't do it. So, but I love you all, and I will see you next Friday. And watch for photos on my community page and on TikTok. Okay. Thank you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.